I'd like to give you now something that I said on my Sunday show about Tim Russert. He was a character right from Mark Twain. You know, the first kid to go barefoot in the summer, the first to wear shoes in the winter. He was a colleague, a role model, and let's be honest this day, a rival. You couldn't keep up with the guy. He heard it first, better yet, saw it first, saw what it meant, saw the path where this new bit of news led. Like Huck Finn, Tim Russert knew things about life that were in nobody's notebook. He got the story first because he just got it. That's how he exposed David Duke as a racist, by simply asking him to name the leading employers in the state of Louisiana. The guy had been trying to say his campaign for governor was about economics. He saw that Clarence Thomas would make it past the confirmation hearings for the Supreme Court because his accuser, Anita Hill, testified in the afternoon, and Thomas got to testify before the much larger national audience in prime time. He knew that horrid morning of 9/11 that the hijackers had grabbed those transcontinental flights because they'd have enough fuel to melt the girders of the World Trade Towers. He was like that other Mark Twain character, Tom Sawyer. He got us to think it was fun to whitewash the fence because he was having so much fun doing it. As a newsman, Tim managed to make Sunday morning a hot news spot. As a fan, he made Buffalo cool. He was, of course, Irish. And being Irish, he tended and fought for his turf, always with pride, whether his hometown team or his show. If it's Sunday, it's meet the press. You can't do better than that. And more than that, he defended his country. It was something, watching him catch the pretense behind the pander, the trace of charlatan that graces the best as well as the worst of our politicians. And because he could, we could see the truth behind that well-guarded hedge. People ask me, and they'll now ask me as long as I live, what was he like? And to them, to you right now, I say, trust your instincts. He was the guy you saw. Tough, regular, hardworking, delighted with what he was doing, and something else you probably figured, great company. We will miss him, this man of sterner stuff.
John McCain, thanks for joining us and sharing your views.
I haven't had so much fun since my last interrogation.
Welcome back to Hardball. We're back with NBC's Andrea Mitchell, Politico's Roger Simon, and MSNBC political analyst, backed by popular demand, I think it's fair to say, Pat Buchanan, sir. We were talking about the culture we grew up in. Let's take a look at some interesting things here because a lot of words about Tim Russert, but I think the best legacy to show tonight on Hardball is what he did. Here's a crucial moment in this year's presidential election. It began in October. And of course, we know how long this fight's going on for the nomination. But here he is at the 30th Democratic presidential debate, back on October 30th, rather.
Senator Clinton, Governor of New York, Eliot Spitzer, has proposed giving driver's licenses to illegal immigrants. You told the National New Hampshire editorial board it makes a lot of sense. Why does it make a lot of sense to give an illegal immigrant a driver's license?
Well, what Governor Spitzer is trying to do is fill the vacuum left by the failure of this administration to bring about comprehensive immigration reform. I just want to add, I did not say that it should be done, but I certainly recognize why Governor Spitzer is trying to do it, and we have failed. We have failed.
No. You said yes.
No.
You thought it made sense to do it.
No, I didn't, Chris.
You know, I think the one thing journalists can do in these debates is not just stand there and play, umpire, right, but to raise issues that neither candidate is comfortable raising to the benefit of the public, Roger. And he did that. Yeah. He raised an issue that showed Hillary Clinton trying to deal with her loyalty to the governor of her state, trying to deal with the constituency of Latinos, and also to the larger Democratic population, which is very mixed on the issue of illegal immigration.
Sure. I mean, what separates good journalists from great journalists is the follow-up question, is listening and analyzing on your feet during a live debate, which is not easy. It only looks easy because the people who do it are very, very good. But to be thinking while that person is answering, to ask the deft, pertinent question, and to not look like a bully. I mean, politicians have learned how to be victims now and how to play the victim.
Okay, I want Andrea to take a look at this, and we haven't looked at this one together. Here's Tim Russert. This is one of my golden oldies. First time I saw Tim earn his bones on television. The David Duke interview, you could say earned his spurs. I like the Mafia one, made his bones. Here he is going after David Duke, the racist, whatever you want to call him, Nazi party leader when he was running and almost got elected governor of Louisiana back in 91.
What manufacturers are the 3 biggest employers in the state of Louisiana?
Well, we have a number of employers in our state.
But who are the 3 biggest manufacturers who are the biggest employers in the state of Louisiana?
I couldn't give you their name right off, sir.
You don't know who the biggest employers in the state of Louisiana are?
I don't have the statistics in front of me. I know a lot of the...
Sir, you're talking about economic development, and you don't know Mr. Duke, let me get back to...
I couldn't give you the exact rank from the other.
I'm not asking you for rank. I asked you for any 3 names of the large employers. How many people in your state live below the poverty line?
A great percentage. So we have the highest per capita percentage in the country, just about the last 5 states of the country.
How many?
I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, sir.
Sir,
I don't carry around an almanac with me.
Well, if I told you it was 25% of your state lived below the poverty line, would you believe me?
I could believe you, yes,
Are these the kinds of things the governor should know? Who the largest employers are? How many people live below the poverty line?
Well, what do you make of that? That was the rubber hose, wasn't it?
But it was brilliant because he didn't go after him on race and
where
he could try to wiggle out and say, well, I didn't mean that. He went after him on exactly what a governor needs to know who is running on a platform of improving the economic lives of the Louisianans. And it killed him. It absolutely
You know why? Because before that, we didn't show the part tape. Patrick, before that, he had challenged David Duke on why he was running. And are you running on race? He said, no, I'm running on economics. And then Tim said, like he always did when he opened up that manila folder, okay, economics, I'm glad you raised that. Let's see what you know about it. It was tough questioning, but what do you think?
Was
that grilling? Was that bullying? What was that? Was that great journalism?
Chris, if you don't know the 3 top industries in your state, you might only get 3 of the first 7, but you ought to know that. And what he exposed was the very fact that David Duke had a very narrow appeal, and he was working the racial vein and white folks being discriminated against and all that. And that's what he knew, but he was running for governor of the state of Louisiana, and it was a very valid question. I saw someone do it to my old friend, Governor Wallace, one time, when he was running for president. They asked him how he was going to fix up monetary policy, and he said he's going to appoint a commission to handle that problem for him. And so I think that what Tim exposed was the lack of depth of this candidate who pretended to be seriously running for governor when he was running that vein.
The one thing that Tim really hated was when people did not take Meet the Press, the holy temple of journalism on Sunday morning, seriously. And they came unprepared. And he didn't really...
I think David Duke was generally unprepared.
On a lot of levels.
It's not that Tim made his... Well, politicians might disagree, but it's not that he made politicians look bad. He let them make themselves look bad. Mm-hmm. I mean, he didn't destroy David Duke. David Duke's ignorance made him look
What I liked is that he would do these things all the time with me. I'd ask him something, and he'd just tell me something. I go, God, you put it together. I didn't even know it, and you put it together so fast before I even knew it. We were watching the Clarence Thomas hearings, and during the day, Anita Hill was a very effective testifier, very strong witness, going after him and his behavior as her employer. And Tim said to me sometime during that day, or I heard him say on the air, must have been said on the air, you know, Clarence is going to get to testify in prime time, reaching a much bigger audience after all this build-up during the day. He'll end up winning this fight, not because he's right or wrong, just because he's on at night and Anita was on in the daytime. That kind of instant analysis, I don't know where, you're the TV person here.
Well, I was there then, and it was clear that the Senate was polling, and they decided by the next morning, by Sunday morning, that they did not even want to permit the polygraph test to be referred to in testimony. They didn't want the next witness, another confirming example, because the American people had voted with their response.
Because they were watching in prime time when he got to talk. Always, if you get a chance to testify when everybody's watching.